Okay, so what we're gonna do is a piecewise function, but first we're gonna go through how to graph lines. A lot of you guys still need to work on lines and graphing lines, but I need to go through more extensive on lines. So some of you guys, because on SAT there's a lot of time that you can help, um, you can do on SAT a lot of time you can estimate some answers and you can get it correct because time is a factor on SAT, right? A lot of you guys have enough time. Like I think certain people like you will have enough time when you take an SAT, and certain people that time is always an issue. So how do we reduce time? Something that we have to understand. So let's make sure you understand all this stuff. First of all, let's go through some basic things about lines, and those are things that are very, very basic. You have to know what are those four possible situations. So if I have a graph going like this, and if I have a graph that's going like this, if I have a graph that's going like this, horizontal line, and if I have a graph going with the vertical line, okay, what are things that you need to know in here? Okay, so what is the slope? What kind of slope are you gonna get here? Positive slope. So a lot of time that you can look at this, you can already eliminate half the choice on your SAT. Usually two choices. Okay, so this is gonna be positive slope. How do I know it's positive slope? This man is looking to the right always, because most of you guys are right-handed. If you look into the right, if you see that's going up, it's always positive. So looking at thing is very easy to double check your piecewise functions. Okay, so this man is looking to the right, this is a positive slope because this is going up. Alright, positive slope. Alright. The man is looking right, in this case, it's going down, so it's gonna be negative slope. This is a very, although like this sounds like very silly, but a lot of people just need to look at this. You can find out your graph that you did some simple mistakes. Okay? This man is looking to the right. What does he feel? Nothing. So slope, it's not no slope, it's actually zero. Zero slope. Slope is equal to zero. Right. And this man is looking to the right. Right? What is the slope on this one?
Undefined.
It's undefined. Good. So why is undefined? This man is keep on falling. We don't know what happened to him. We don't know if he's gonna die or not. We just know that he keep on falling. Now it reminds me like there was a Phineas and Ferb episode that there is an episode about him just falling and keep on falling. He falling for the first 5 minutes. He was like ah, and then he realized after 20 minutes he's still falling. He didn't really care. They start having normal conversations. Like, so what you do in the summer? You know, it's like it just keep on falling, but you don't know what happened. It might not die. It just keep on falling. It's not, the line is perfectly straight and there is no end to it. Just keep on falling. Okay, so we don't know what happened to this man. I think he's more likely to starve to death than kill himself at the end. So that's the things. Okay. Why you guys have computer on right now? You should be paying attention to here. So put the computer away for now, and we just need to use it later. Just don't close it all the way. Don't close it all the way because we're gonna use it. Okay. So this is very important. And that actually, I was watching this. I don't know, was a physics professor. I think it's Dr. Lewin. He's an MIT professor. And he said there's a lot of physicists actually come up with this theory that you can actually drill a hole, right? You can draw a hole. Yeah, straight go to the center, right? Right. So if the person's falling right here, right? It's falling towards center of the earth, right? And eventually it's not hot. It's a perfect temperature in there, 27 degrees Celsius. And then And then what you can do is that you can actually, I think you can travel across the Earth in one piece, because at here the gravity is gonna pulling you toward the center, right?
Yeah.
But you're gonna travel fast enough, but when you pass the center, it's actually gonna slow down because you go into the maximum speed at here, and when you cross that, your center Earth start pulling you the other way. So actually you can get to, from here you drop the speed, you drop here, when you come up here is actually a 0 speed. Because your gravity is gonna pull you, because how fast you gain is gonna be exactly the same distance how fast you lose. So you're gonna come out in one piece on the other side. Yeah, you're not gonna crash to death, but. And they say like you can go across the center of Earth in like, I don't know, 20 few minutes or something at Earth's ridiculous speed, because you're falling so fast. But you go into the other side, it's gonna slow it down, the other one. So I saw that video, I was like, oh wow, that's cool, and that's a very interesting concept. Of course, you're not gonna be able to drill a hole all the way to go in through the other side. Russian tried. They trying to drill a hole like as far as like this part, like this far down. And they actually have making the things. So that's actually very important. So this one's undefined slope. So also that, this is a function, this is a function. Which one's not a function?
The undefined.
This one's not a function because it failed vertical line test. So this one is not a function because intersect more than once. So your SAT could be like, which following thing is not a function, right? And you're gonna pick the one that has same x value and multiple y value. So in this case, it's not a function. So on your SAT, that's an easy question. That's an easy A. Okay. Yes, I got my 10 points. This one's not a function. Or a circle is not a function because it failed vertical line test. We are gonna deal with something called horizontal line test later, and that's something that's important. Okay. So what would be a piecewise function look like? This is what piecewise function look like. F of x is equal to, now this is some of the function here is not a correct math notation. So, but to emphasize that is I just want you to be able to graph all different kind of functions. So the first one is probably gonna be negative 2/3 x plus 2 when x is greater than 3. And the second one is probably -2 when x between -2 and 3. And the third function is probably 2x minus 3y is equal to -6 when x less than let's say this one is 2 and this one's 3. And so that's x less than x is less than -2. So we're gonna try to graph this function. Although this notation kind of confusing, there's f of x, there's y, it's not supposed to be that way. But I'm just to emphasize on something that you can graph a function in so many different ways, and especially a line. So we have to understand all kind of format of a line. Okay. So we're gonna talk about line format, how many different kind of formats. So how many of you guys can tell me how many format for a line? Well, let's start with what is the slope of lines first. What will be a slope of lines? So m is equal to what? Nobody knows slope of a line?
Y2 minus y1.
Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? That's something very, very important. Some people also know as a rise over run, which is, I hate this definition, by the way, with a passion, because it's not always a rise. Sometimes it's going down. So I prefer this definition. If it's a positive, it's going up. If it's negative, it's going to go down. And if it's a positive, it's going to go right. And if it's a negative, it's going to go left. Okay, so sometimes you guys need to understand this is a slope. The major thing about slope is you can find out, if you plug in those 2 points, you can find out the slope of that point. Question about this part. No. Now, how many different equation for equation of line? Like how many different one that you can think of?
The solver.
No, the representation of a line. How many different way to represent a line? Slope intercept, thank you. So slope intercept, so E is y equal to mx plus b. Okay, so what's the most important thing for y equal to mx plus b? So that's the first one. Y equal to mx plus b. What's the most important thing here? M and b, what does the b stand for?
The y equals to y.
Wrong.
The
B does not represent y-intercept, be careful. Okay? M represents the slope. Right? We know that if the same definition is a positive, it's going up. If it's a left, it's going to go down. I hate when a teacher told you that way because it, the B does not represent your y-intercept. However, 0B is the y-intercept. It's not B. B is a horizontal line. Y equal to B, y equal to 2, then that's a horizontal line. So it's actually 0 comma B is a point, a single point that is represents y-intercept. So make sure you understand that. So y-intercept. I hate teacher that does that, which is driving me crazy, because true definition is 0 comma B. Okay? So that's something that you need to know. What is the second representation you have? What's the next one?
Point slope form.
yeah.
What is it?
Point slope form.
Point slope form. Yes, but do you know where that come from?
I know there's a theorem behind it.
It's not theorem, but it's right in front of you.
Don't you just so this? Yeah. No. Yes. No. Right.
Oh.
Now if you pay attention to this, right? Now I'm going to write it this way. So it'll be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's equal to m. Notice I write this way for a reason. I multiply both sides by, I don't like fractions.
X2.
So therefore this one's going to cancel out. It's going to be y2 minus y1 equal to m times x2 minus x1. Does that look familiar? It's a slope equation. Okay, a slope equation, you just have to erase the 2, then you're done, point slope form. Wow, you don't need to memorize this because you already know it.
That actually helps a lot because I could never remember the slope.
There you go. But make sure you write m on the other side because you just multiply the other side, boom, you're right there. So point slope form has a point, which is x1 and x2. That's where you y2. That's where you begin. Okay, and here is where you begin. B stands for begin. Okay, so you always start with y-intercept and go with the slope. And this one is begin is going to be a point, and the slope is going to be slope. What is the third form you see on the line? What is the third thing that you see on the line? Can somebody tell me what is the third representation of a line? So this is what? This is called point slope form, right? So this one is here, and this one's here, and this one's here. So this is called point slope form. This is one of my favorite forms. Okay, and this is called point intercept form. Because there's a point and there's a y-intercept. And the third one, Gabriel's right, is called ax plus by is equal to c. A and b and c must be what?
No, A must be. No. Okay, never mind.
It must be integers. So even though like a simple stuff like you take it for granted, a plus b plus c. That's why I reteach this because a lot of things I already know this. I understand you already know this, but I still want you to know that everything that's the right information. Because for example, 0b is very important. That's a y-intercept. Yes.
For point slope, why did you like take away the 2?
Because this becomes a variable. This becomes a variables. that y1 is the constant and x1 is the constant. So right now I take out the things that becomes the equation of line.
Okay.
Okay, because that's a specific point and that's special functions. Okay. This one is ax plus by equal to c. Pretty useless form. I don't really use it all the time, and I don't prefer it. But this is good for something, however. It's good for finding x-intercept and y-intercept. Okay, we're gonna talk about how do I find x-intercept and y-intercept. So it's good for find x-intercept and y-intercept. So how do I find x-intercept? Set y equal to 0, solve for x. And I set the opposite equal to 0, so x equal to 0, solve for y. So you can do it in one step. So because 2x plus 3y is equal to 5, that part is 0, then you go, 2x equal to 5, x equal to 5 over 2, boom, done. So other than that, I think it's pretty useless. But I don't know why they call this one standard form, because I like this one to be standard. That's just me. Because I like point slope form. Standard form. But this one's standard form, unfortunately. I don't prefer it, but this is probably my least favorite form. My most favorite form is definitely this one. Y minus y1 equal to m times x parentheses minus x1, because I can start any point. That makes it so powerful. I make the line equation so much more powerful than before, because you can start anywhere long as that point is on the line. Okay, so that is an introduction of a line. It's algebra 1, right? Okay here? Okay. Sorry. So then you say, okay, well, what else is new? Now, we're going to start by graphing. So a lot of you guys know how to graphing already. Can you raise this? Or it's on video, you can subscribe me. Now, we're going to graph with restrictions. So that makes it a little bit harder. So, we graph y is equal to -2 third x plus 2. Now, here's the one thing that you have to important, that slope, this one is what? Slope-intercept form.
Yeah.
You always graph from where? Y-intercept. What is y-intercept here?
Or 0.
0,
0, 2. Please do not tell me 2 anymore. I will mark it wrong on your test. For a certain individual, I'm gonna mark 15 points off. You probably know who you are. You come on Tuesdays. 15 point off, Benjamin. Now you have 55 instead of 70. So 0, 2. Okay, so it's like I got 2 hours sleep. That's good. That's why I really don't get any sleep. Sound like Benjamin now, right? So 0, 2 here. Oh, sorry, 2 is wrong side. I'm an idiot.
Did you not get
15
any
points
sleep?
off for me.
Did you not get any sleep this weekend?
I get enough sleep. Okay, so it's 0, 2 right here, right? And then that slope is what? -2/3. So now, this is the part I think that's very essential for instead of just like before, you only think about one perspective of line, you have to think about 2 perspective of line. So because this one means down, 2, right? Right, 3. But however, it can also equal to 2/-3. That means what? Up 2
And then left.
and left 3. So you have 2 different perspectives, because piecewise really need that. The piecewise really need that. So if I have, in this case, it's going to be down 2, right 3, 1, 2, 3. And here, down 2, right 3. So it'll be 1, 2, 3. It's gonna be right here, I think.
Yeah.
And then
No. What is it? Yeah.
down 2, right 3, yep. And then 1, 2, 3. It's gonna be down 2, right 3. Okay, so that's gonna be a line here. Okay. However, now we're gonna go think about this one. So if I were to say a restriction at the back, x greater than 3. So that means what? Where's 3? 1, 2, 3. So greater than 3, anything, so also, okay, sorry, let me graph the other side too. Up 2 and left 3, so up 2, left 3, 1, 2, 3. Because sometimes that's why you need the both perspective. So you gotta go from here all the way here. Now if I say x greater than 3, now this is the part that a lot of you guys have issue. X greater than 3, then you have to say, well, I'm gonna keep anything greater than 3, and anything less than 3 is gonna be thrown out of the part. So it's gonna start right here. So this is a number line, right? A number line is this one's a 0, this side is 3. So anything greater than 3 is pretty much this part, right? So that means anything on this side, I'm gonna keep. Anything on this back hand side, I'm gonna erase. So, and the part of this problem is gonna be open circle. Why is open circle? X greater than 3, and that's gonna be your open circle. So this one's nothing to do with, that's gonna have to help you is x greater than 3, so anything above 3 is the part of the graph I'm going to keep. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're gonna graph a second function, says we're gonna graph the same thing on here. The second function says f of x is equal to -2. Between -2, x less than what? 3?
Yes.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, well, 2, how do I graph -2?
Horizontal.
It's a horizontal line, right? Right?
Horizontal like that.
And it's gonna be open circle from -2
To
and then 3,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be horizontal lines right here.
So any number between those.
So because of -2. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is this a hard one to graph?
No.
It's probably the easiest one, right? But it's between -2 to +3.
Yes.
We did that. Are we okay here?
Yeah.
We're gonna do this in blue.
Or not.
Or not.
Buckets.
Oh!
That was disgusting. Oh.
So we're
Let's
gonna
jump from one trash can.
say f of x is equal to -2 when x is between which value?
This year is COVID.
-2 and 3. So that's the blue part. Does that make sense? How many of you guys are lost? Yes? Which part are you lost?
When I look down to the right, we draw the graph and I looked up and I was lost.
Okay, so do you understand this part, the black line?
Yeah.
Because when x is greater than 3, so anything above 3, x greater than 3, anything above that, I'm gonna keep it. Anything on the left side, I'm gonna erase. I'm gonna keep an open circle here because the x greater than 3. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab a second function, f of x equal to -2. -2 is a horizontal line. So a lot of you guys don't know how to graph. This is f of x is same thing as y equal to -2. So I can -2, that means 1, 2 is a horizontal line. This is a y equal to -2. -2 is just means always the y value is -2. So if I were to do a number line on this, a t-chart, x and y, so that's gonna be -2 regardless which number I plug in. I can plug in 1, 2, 3. So 1 is gonna be -2, 2 is gonna be -2, 3 is gonna be -2. That's why it's a horizontal line. So it's gonna be a horizontal line from here to here. Understand?
Yes.
Do you got it? Because I said because -2 less than x less than
Oh,
3. So it's between -2 to 3. That's the restriction. I have to focus on restriction now when I graph it. Got it? Okay, the next one I'm going to do in red, which is this one I'm going to do in red. So 3x minus 2y is equal to -6. 3x minus 2y is equal to -6, right? X less than -2. Now, this is you're not going to have y and fx at the same time. So it would probably, sometimes it's easier to just replace that as an f of x here. So that way you see it. But here we're going to say, okay, well, we're going to assume that this is allowed. Because I do want to introduce all different kind of graph in here. So how do I graph this function? Points intercept. No, slope intercept, right? So I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides. So I'm going to get minus 2y equal to -3x minus 6. And I'm going to divide it by -2. And that's why I split them, but I like to, instead of write down like this, -2, I don't like this way. Because since I'm going to split anyway, so I'm just going to be like this. And that way I can get y equal to 3 over 2x, right? Plus 3. Now what's my slope? What is my b? Where do I begin?
0, 3.
0, 3. My slope is going to be 3 over 2, which is go up 3, and then what? Right 2.
Or it could also be like.
Right, you guys see this, -3 over -2 is also represents same exact thing, because negative over negative is positive. So it's gonna be down 3 and left 2. Okay? But which one I need? So I'm gonna start with what? 0, 3. So 0, 3 is gonna be 1, 2, 3, right? So the thing is gonna be right here. But do I want to go up 3 and right 2?
Down 3 and left.
See, that's why you need to understand both, right? You cannot just understand one perspective, because I need that x is less than -2. So I cannot grab toward the positive part.
There's no point.
Okay? So it's gonna go down. So it's gonna be what? Down 3 units. So it'll be down 3 units. And what? Left 2. So the graph's gonna start right here. Because although it seems like this, but it's gonna be like this. So down 3, left 2, down 3, left 2. So it's gonna be like this. And the graph's gonna be like this. But not the other way. So your piecewise is always a function. I think a lot of times they graph like this. I'm like, oh, that's not a function, that's automatic fail. I don't even need to look at the rest of the things. Because that's not a function. If I have piecewise function, it has to be a function, right? You cannot fail vertical line test. So in this case, would have failed, so this part should have erased. So you should go over here.
Can you take a picture?
And I should see some of you guys after school, because I gotta pick up my son at 6 o'clock, so I'll be here till like 45.
So what? 3:45 or 2:45?
Oh, yeah, keep it there. You like the green paper I gave you? It's like so shiny. Ah, I'm gonna fail. Huh?